I was raised in a church home. My mother and father, my brother and sister, we did go to church. We were involved in youth activities. My parents were involved in helping with youth suppers and things like that. So we were raised in the church. I was 13. I was in, back in the day, it was called junior high school. Now they call it middle school. And I was actively involved in Fellowship of Christian Athletes and was given the salvation message there and accepted Christ as my Savior. I was involved in Young Life in high school. And in the middle of my high school, we moved to Mississippi. And so I really wasn't involved in Young Life anymore. And that was a very important event. We went to Colorado skiing, and that was a time when I felt like my faith grew, and I made some commitments to do Bible study. I made commitments to, at that point, to only listen to Christian music. I just had different things that I felt like I needed to do to grow. And that was followed with some involvement in Campus Crusade for Christ and some church fellowship groups at college. And that even helped anchor my faith more. Young Life, and I'm going to Colorado, and just my experience of moving and really only having to lean on the Lord because I moved into a hometown. This is where I grew up in high school, where there was a lot of expectations that weren't things that I really wanted to follow, like to be part of the group, you had to part. Laurel, Mississippi is a very small town in central Mississippi, and it's a town of old rich. A lot of people there have money from years and years ago. So when you move into a town like that, and with the job that my father had, my father was the president of the main bank there was a lot of expectations for me as a kid and for my sister and for us as a family, and it just was really difficult because socially we were kind of not there. That wasn't our way of doing things, so it was difficult. So we just kind of had to find our own path. I wasn't into the party and all that, and that was kind of the way that you were accepted, and so that was very hard for me. So I really had to learn. That's when my relationship with the Lord really was strengthened, because I just I didn't want to compromise my beliefs and my thoughts and my morals to be one of the gang, so to speak. So yes, that was my experience in Laurel, Mississippi. But yeah. Well, I think when I moved to Mississippi, I had a really good friend who was a strong Christian, and she wrote me this really long letter and just encouraged me to be true to my faith and to trust in God. And that was huge, because when I moved there, it was very difficult to fit in. And it was a small town, and people had expectations, and so it was difficult. So that kind of became the anchor where I would go back and reread that letter and use that to try to propel, where I needed to be. And through that, I met some wonderful Christian people, which I'm still very good friends with. I had one person, we were in a group. This was when we were in Panama City, Campus Crusade for Christ, and there was 3 of us, and we were witnessing to a group of like 3 others, and one girl in the group did accept Christ, and we followed up with her, and that was 30 years ago, 30 or more years ago. But yeah, it did. In Atlanta, the kind of cold knocks on the door, there was a lot of rejection. We did have one lady invite us in and gave us, cookies and milk, and she was very nice and she was a Christian, so she was very accepting of what we had to do and say. But most of the people would just slam the door in your face. I'm not interested. Shut